Hello, can people hear me? Hello, can people hear me? All right, so we're starting the office hours. Welcome to World Quant University. This is the Unit 1 office hours. I'll be the person in charge of leading the office hours. I know it's not the same person doing the lectures. That is Dylan, but I will be hosting the office hours Monday through Thursday for Unit 1. Okay, thank you for that response. Keep in mind that there is a lag between what I say and what appears, so sorry about that. I'll try to do my best to be cognizant of the lag. And for your questions, you can simply post them in this little chat right there, the word I typed in. Most people are typing right now. You can type in your questions there. What I want to do here for the first office hours is I hear some echoes. Hi, I hear some echoes. Yes, we can hear you. Anyone else hear any echoes? I think I might have to switch to some sort of headset to prevent any echoes. Let's see if that works. Okay, so hopefully this is better. Okay, cool. All right. So the best form of communication for this course is the forum. So I want to stress that forum we have. All right, thank you guys for your confirmations. Okay, so the best way to post your questions is through the forum. We've set up a forum for you guys. I believe the link is, let's see, wqu-ask-ds.tditrain.com. That should take you to a forum for asking your questions regarding the course in general. Okay, so I see some people already posted questions, so that's good. And the way that it's going to work is that, yes, hello, I think I hear some feedback. Anyways. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, the best way is when you post a question, I'll talk about sort of good ways to post questions, is you want to post a good title that is descriptive. And you also want to use the tags. And I notice people already doing tags. Those are very nice for me to look at and see what's the subject matter of the question. And I actually start seeing that people are already starting answering questions. That's perfectly fine. Feel free to answer your peers' questions. Your fellow students are going to ask questions. If you know the answer, by all means, answer the question. What I'll do is I'll patrol the forum to make sure that indeed it did get answered. You give the proper that the proper answer was delivered. And if you posed a question and your question was answered, and you have the correct answer, please mark it as such. When you go to a question and someone posts an answer, there is a green check mark. Or no, it's not a green check mark, but it becomes green when you highlight your cursor around it. Check that and say, if you post a question, as that is the correct answer. And this is important because when I look at the forum, I like to look at unanswered questions. So it helps me if your questions, that your posed questions, the correct answer was delivered. So make sure you update that. It helps with the logistics for this course. Someone says, where do I send the questions? So you can post your questions in the forum. In fact, let's see if I can, probably best to demo this. I'm going to share my screen, so give me a sec. So you guys should be able to see my screen. Can I get a confirmation behind that? Okay, so I'll walk you through. So notice you might see something slightly different, but when you go to the forum and you see a question, since there's a large volume of people for this course, if you see a question that you like or that you want answered more so than others, please vote for the question. Because what I'm going to do is that for the office hours, I'm going to prioritize questions with the highest votes. Those are the ones I'm going to answer first. So that's the priority there. If I click on this question, notice that some people have posted an answer. And if you posted that question and it does get answered, make sure you go and indicate that is the correct answer. And the reason why is because if that question has been answered and I go to the unanswered questions, it'll no longer be there. And I'm going to heavily rely on looking at the unanswered questions. So it'll help me a lot if a lot of those questions that have been answered have been marked as answered. Notice when you go to comments, comments are a nice way to ask for clarifications. So those are how I'm going to be running office hours. And you can also ask your questions directly by showing up to office hours and putting into your question in this chat here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go through the forum. Unless someone posts a direct question, at the moment, I'm going to go through the forum. So someone says still, I'm going to go follow the rules by looking for the most votes. This has 6 votes. And I want to clarify, I think someone put that is correct, that this is not an official WhatsApp channel for the course. So I want to go here and add a comment and say, yes, that is correct. And regarding about whether you're allowed to do this or not, I'm not going to be too concerned about it. If you want to self-organize, by all means, feel free to self-organize. And hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. Is just keep in mind that the official forum is this website here. And I won't be joining that WhatsApp exercise. Okay. So does anyone else have any questions they want to ask me at the moment directly? Okay, while people are sending those, someone has questions. Are office hours are recorded? Yes, office hours are recorded. So there will be a link. A link will appear in the playlist where you can access the office hours recorded. So what's going to happen is that once these office hours ends, then the video will be uploaded. It probably won't be instantaneous. There'll probably be some lag there, maybe about an hour. But yes, office hours the videos are going to be recorded for office hours and will be posted. You'll have that link. All the links for the videos, if you go into your Jupyter Hub, there's a video links tab. That's very important. That's where all the videos are going to be posted, all the links. So please keep tabs on that so you can know, what are the links for the videos and whatnot in the schedule for the course. So I see someone is asking a program flow Fibonacci exercise and compare the while for the for loop. Someone posted the code, so it's nice that you're able to use that formatting, so it's very easy to see the code. This might have something to do with the count variable, which seems unnecessary. it gives you the same information with the variable n. Okay. So yes, when you're looking at this approach, your peers are having the right mindset. When you look at algorithms, you want to both look at time and space complexity. And memory complexity. So basically, how does your algorithm scale if you increase the number of elements you have to do? If you have to go from 10 to 100, a factor of 10, does the algorithm scale by a factor of 10? Does it scale by a square factor of 10? So you want to be able to consider both time complexity, but also memory requirements for these algorithms. And I see that someone in your group is using the timeint functionality in the Jupyter Notebooks. This is also a great way where you're going to develop two different algorithms and you want to know how they perform, you want to know the time complexity. You can go ahead and test it out using this timeint feature and see which one takes longer. And you can also modify it for different number of integers to see how it changes as you affect that. Perhaps one is faster at the moment, but isn't going to scale so well as you increase the number of elements. Okay, so I see another question here on the forum is why none is returned from a function by default. And that's just a default. That's just how Python behaves. If your function doesn't return anything, so you have no return statement, by default, the function will return none. So I see your function here, and notice your function doesn't return anything. There is no return statement. It prints something out, but there is no return statement. So when you say square equals do it 6, square is going to be none. Looks like some of your peers have already answered that. So I see one that appears to be the correct answer. So I'm going to give you some time, whoever posted that question, I'm going to give you some time to go back to the forum and mark it as the correct answer. I'm just going to give you practice on that. Keep in mind that I do have the capability to go to the forum and mark things as answered. I might do that. It's not ideal. I want you to be the one, if you post the question, to look at the posted answers and figure out which one best answered the question and mark that as such. Like I said, I really encourage you guys to help each other out, and I might put some additional comments if I see them fit. I see someone, let's see, make sure you take advantage of that code formatting. You can nicely format your code when you post your question. You can also vote which you think is your favorite, the best answer to the question. So feel free to other people who are seeing these questions. You think that answers it? By all means, vote for it. Give it a thumbs up or whatnot. Okay, let's see. Someone's asking, this is probably an overview question of how the course works. Someone says, still not sure how this course works. Can give me some details? Looks like it was posted by Anonymous. I would start off with the WQU-DS module introduction videos on YouTube. There's a link in the email sent us. Yes, so thank you guys for posting that. Yes, and keep in mind, I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but if you go to your Jupyter Hub, there's going to be a lot of important information. And in fact, let me just share my screen and walk you through that. All right, so let's say when you go home, right, that's where you start off with. There's some nice onboarding situations. There is the syllabus. along with the list of mini projects for you to work on. There's a link to the discussion board, information about the data incubator. I want to point out to video links. These are all the video links for the lectures that have been posted. And notice we do our best to properly format the videos. You might be wondering, what do these numbers represent? The first number represents the week, so week 1. It's kind of a rough guideline. The second number represents what notebook we're working on. So this is the first notebook of the week, and this is the first video for that notebook. We move on to the second video, and that's going to be based upon week 1, the first notebook, but it's the second video of the first notebook, and so forth. And notice here, it's 1, 2, 1, so that means it's the second notebook, but it's the first video, the second video, the third video, and fourth video. And all those links are listed there, as well as the office hours link. So if you're having trouble where are the office hours, where is going to be posted the video, follow this link, and you should get access to those office hours. Other thing I want to keep in mind is go to the grades tab. This should include your grades for the mini project. So I know here looks like I haven't done any of the questions. Well, I have, but not on this pod right here. So make sure when you go into the mini projects, sometimes it's nice to make sure that they are being recorded. That should not be a problem. But so just go ahead and take the time to make sure that whatever grade you're getting in the mini project from the notebook is being reflected in this mini project's grade. If that's not the case, reach out to us. That might indicate that there's some sort of situation that's going wrong. That shouldn't be the case, but just make sure of that. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to go back to the forum. Take a look at some of those questions there. Someone is asking whether this is self-paced. In some, it's yes and no, in the sense that it's not like it's semi-self-paced, if that makes sense. We say, hey, here are the videos for the week. Go watch them. Of course, you don't have to watch them. I encourage you to keep up. I think, successful completing this program requires to keeping up with the videos, but you could just, not view them until week 3. However, I do not recommend that. So in some sense, it's kind of a guided pace. So guided self-paced, if that makes sense. A guided tour, something like that. So yeah, and like I said, I really recommend to keep up with the videos. So it's semi-self-paced. And all these assignments are due by the end of the course. So even though you may not have completed the mini project, the mini project for that week by the end of this week, that's not a problem. Sometimes there's a bit of a learning curve to catch up, get used to things. But keep in mind that everything is due 2 weeks after the end of the course. So whatever that final week 8 is, 2 weeks from there is when all the mini projects are due. And take a look at that grades tab, right? That grades tab will fill you in how, what questions have you've answered in the mini projects. So someone is asking me how do you know the number of the notebook? So the notebooks don't have a number, but usually you can tell which notebooks you'll be using based upon the title of the video. And just by opening up the video, you should see at the very top what notebooks we are using. Someone says, so are new videos posted every day? All the videos have been posted. I think what we're going to do for this is that all the videos are, so on Monday, you get all the videos for the entire week. So think about it as new videos we posted every week. office hours are being recorded. Correct. The link of that video will be on your Jupyter Hub. Video links. There should be the video that posted for the office hours. When office hours ends, YouTube will upload the video. May not be instantaneous, so give it some time. But yes, the videos, office hours will be recorded. Okay, so I'm looking at a question on the forum that says, I get name error when submitting grader code. Display this message. Name error, grader name is not defined. You must not execute import statements. Execute the import statements which present on top of the notebook, and you will be able to, yes, correct. I see someone has asked that question. So the question is, you got something about, hey, grader name not found. Anytime you get a name error and saying something's not defined, that probably means you haven't imported something. So in this case, the person who posted the question was correct, that all you have to do is at the very top of the notebooks or the mini projects, there's an import grader from grader import static grader, I believe. Make sure you run that cell. If not, you're going to get that name error. I see someone says the grader service brings an error. Has it been debugged? So the grader service brings an error. Can you show me error? Can you tell me the error? I think Silvo Bryans, can you tell me the error? Someone asked a question here that says, how can I know which mini projects link to which subject? If you go, let's see. Let me just show my screen there. If you look at the syllabus, you should see, it should tell you these are the mini projects for these subject matters. So it might not tell you, okay, this mini project is for this specific material, but this should give you some guide, some information about what topics are going to be addressed by the mini projects. Cool. All right. That looks like that question got answered. All right. Let's see. Okay, this one was answered. Someone's saying, let's introduce ourselves. Okay, feel free to introduce yourselves. Okay, let's see. Okay, see someone is asking a question. And let's see. Okay, so this is what you're asking for, the mini course. All right. Okay, I'll be looking at that question here. I see someone, it's a quick question someone's asking. Hi, in case I cannot complete this module on time, is it possible for me to re-enroll in the very next session in July? Do I have to wait until a certain period before re-enrolling? So regarding that, you should defer as soon as possible. And that there should be a link. I believe there should be, you should have got information about having to defer. Let me just check that. That information should be in the email that you got sent out. I'll double check that. In fact, if I don't give you that answer, go ahead and ask me again tomorrow. I'll go ahead and figure that out for you. Okay, so this looks like, Silvo, you got your answered question. You are the greater mistake. Okay. Let's see, someone's mini course. Make sure you type in mini course on Python. So this is the IP mini project you're looking at, exercise 3, the Mersenne primes. Okay, so it looks like, make sure, now looking at your question you posted, so you defined a function. I guess you took it from the what we had there. So the prime, you say you initialize it to a 0 empty list. And my code is like this. However, I cannot understand and find solution here, the Lucas-Lerner algorithm, but things don't work somehow. Let's see. When you post a question, it's perhaps, you should try to be explicit as possible. So let me go ahead and add a comment. So it's a nice way to use a comment feature here. So I'm going to say, can you clarify by what you mean by not understanding and finding the solution? Okay, so if you can clarify. Okay, for that one, you send the p-value. Yes, the Lucas-Lerner is a function of p. That is correct. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to first, so is that p-value just an integer, not between 3 and 65? However, in the third exercise, there's a p-value between 3 to 65. So what you need to first do is you need to get all the primes between 3 to 65. So you have that get primes function that you constructed before. The first thing you need to do is get all the primes. Okay, so you got all the primes between 3 and 65. Okay, you got that step. The next thing you need to do is that for all those primes from 3 to 65, you need to test them. You need to see whether they are indeed, you need to pass them through the Lucas-Lerner function. Okay. So then for all those primes, you got to run them through the Lucas-Lerner. Loop 2, both for 3 to 65. You need to, let's see, you need to feed all those p-values, all the prime numbers, each one you need to feed them through the function you need to create. You need to create a function, the LL prime function. So in this case, you want to test whether the last element is equal to 0. Right, so you should construct a function called LL prime that does the test. That's going to take a prime number, perform the test. Okay, so you need to construct a function called LL prime. And in that function, it's return a value of 0 or 1, depending on the output of the function Lucas-Lemma. So I just try to understand we have primes list. We have primes list. There's no question about that. Yeah, what I'm trying to say, the first thing you do is you generate that primes list. And it seems that you have done that. So you're good to go to the next step of the problem. And the next step is you got to make sure you construct that LL prime function that's going to return 0 or 1. Given a prime value, it's going to return 0 or 1. So have you done that so far? While you're typing that out or you're answering that question, I'm going to go back. I think I saw something I didn't answer. So let's see. Someone says, sir, will you say what is the correct answer among the answers posted by students or dictate the answers? What I'll do is if a student answers a question, if you posted that question and you feel the student has answered that question, mark it as such. However, I will take a look at the questions just to make sure whether they were answered correctly or not. So I will only intervene whether someone answered the question correctly and for some reason they say that is a correct answer. Someone says, am I supposed to have solved the exercise mini projects before the office hours? No, the office hours are a time to ask me questions regarding the mini projects and the exercises. So, if, you can ask follow-up questions, you can ask questions that you're stuck on. There's also time for me to go through the forum and make sure there are no unanswered questions on the forum. Okay, so the first thing you do is you generate a list of primes from 3 to 65. And then you need to construct a function, and you have the Lucas-Lerner function constructed. I believe so, since you're in exercise 3. So now you should construct a function called LL prime that accepts an integer as input. Okay, you just constructed the function LL prime. And that should accept as input an integer, the only one argument as an integer. Okay, def LL prime. And that function should return 1 or 0. What is P? P is an integer. It's not a list. However, you will use that function for all the elements of a list. So at the moment, when you create that LL primes function, you should act as if P is an integer. Then we will use it on a list, but at the moment, it's going to accept an integer. So I see someone is asking a question saying, I'm on the second video, basic programming variable, where we asked to pause and do the exercise. I'm still new to T. Not sure what T is referring to here, but I don't know how to navigate to the files where we have the exercise. Going back to Ozon's question, that is correct. Later on, you're going to apply this function, you're going to do a loop to apply this function on all the different values of P. So that's why the LL primes should just work on one integer. So I may be mispronouncing his name, but Uche Chukwu, regarding your question, you don't know how to navigate to the files. Do you mean your Jupyter Hub pod? Can you elaborate on that? Back to Ozon. Okay, looks like things are kind of congealing here. Yeah, I think you're getting on the right. Okay, I think you're on the right track here. I think you're getting it. Okay, so Jupyter file, I think. So you should be able to, probably the best way to illustrate that is if I project my screen once again. Okay, so if you go to start my server, so start up the server, give it a couple minutes. Okay, so give that a couple more minutes. It's still loading. Okay, so this is where you go. So the way it feels is very much like you would work with like a file manager on your personal computer, on your local computer. You go into data course. This is the main directory. Now, keep in mind, I'm actually in a different course, so sorry about that. Let me just switch over to this unit. I was actually on Unit 2's curriculum, so let me just switch so I won't confuse you about the files. So you should see a directory called data course. I'll talk and while this loads up. And in there are different subdirectories. The notebooks are going to be located in those subdirectories, depending on the subject matter. So you'll find that notebook, the notebook we're using, just open it up and you should have it. It's taking a while, so sorry about that. In the meantime, I know sometimes there can be a large volume of questions, so forgive me if I miss your question. So if I missed your question, feel free to post it once again in this chat here. Taking longer than usual. Sorry about that. Okay, so data course. The first couple of notebooks are going to be, the first half of the course, roughly speaking, will be in the Python directory. And then here are the respective notebooks. So someone is asking me a question, and then so let's say the intro, right? You go into this one, and here it is. So this is a nice little intro to data science, kind of give you an overview of Jupyter Hub, the notebook system. Let's go into, you can go into, let's say, data structures. And here are the notebooks that are used for the lectures. So yes, the video lectures will be using these notebooks. And someone is asking me if there's any difference between the notebooks and the videos. The answer is no. There is no difference, for the most part, between the notebooks and the videos. And the reason why is because the videos are based upon our lecturing from the notebooks. However, a caveat I want to point out is that we might have made some minor changes to the notebooks since we recorded the videos. So there might be some differences between what is being shown in the lecture and what you see in your notebook. Small differences, not a lot. Just keep in mind that that might be the situation. Okay, so I see, hopefully that, Toby, hopefully that answers your question. I see someone by the name of AB talking about the IN notebook. A problem 2 is not showing up for some reason. Any ideas why that is? What do you mean by it's not showing up? Like it's blank, that part of it is blank. Let's see. If I go into mini projects, IN, it just shows problem 1. So if you scroll all the way down, you don't see a problem 2. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Anyone else have that same problem? When you go to IN, do anyone else have that same problem? And the reason I ask is I want to make sure how widespread this problem is so that can guide me in what decisions I make to fix the problem. Okay, so it may not be your fault. It may not be your fault. I just want to get a sort of secondhand, and anyone else see that problem. Okay, while other people are looking to see whether they're missing that problem, I'll look at other questions that need to be answered. So someone does not have that problem. Okay, Isa, thank you. Someone says, I've forgotten the assignment. No, I don't. Okay. Can I play the video again while this live stream is on? Because I want to refresh my memory. When you say the video again, you can view the lecture notebooks, no problem. Is that what you mean? They're sorry, like the lecture videos. Those are available, so you can keep on playing those. So someone is asking me, Toby's asking me, once the server is loaded, is navigation between Jupyter Notebook's platform offline? No, everything is done online. So if you go into, let's say you go to control panel, right? This is my server. This is all done online. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Someone is asking the question is, what is the difference between the problems in the mini projects and the exercises in the notebook? The exercises in the notebook are for you to follow along and for you to attempt when you're watching the videos. Those aren't graded. They're not going to be graded. So in that sense, I understand that, ideally you should work on the exercises, but just keep in mind they're not graded. And the more important thing is to work on the mini projects. So they are different, but the ones that are graded are through the mini projects. So make sure you do those. Okay, anyone else have questions? I know we're kind of getting towards the end of office hours, so this is time to ask your questions directly. Of course, you can always ask them other times via the forum. And please, if you post a question on the forum and it gets answered, please mark it as being answered. That will help me go through the questions more readily and be able to answer more questions. So please do your part when you post a question that you mark it as such. Also, before you post a question, you also want to make sure that other people have not asked the same question. If people have asked the same question, by all means, look at it. Because if you post a question that already has been answered or asked, I'll just say, hey, it's been answered, it's been asked. Okay, so AB, looks like you're missing, for some reason you're missing problem 2. I don't know why that is the case. Let me try to figure that out. Isa saying, should I finish the mini projects in this week, or can I do it whenever I want? You have until 2 weeks from the end of the course to finish all the mini projects. However, so theoretically, you can wait to the very end after the course is done and within those 2 weeks to finish all the mini projects. However, it's going to best serve you if you work on the mini projects throughout the course. And that you don't leave it to the very end. I understand that our schedules can be changed, things can come up, so you may not, may not do the mini projects at the desired time. Just make sure that if you really just do not procrastinate, you can, but I highly encourage you to get the practice, start looking at it. I know there's other things in life that goes on, but really try to keep up with the pace. It'll make your life a lot less stressful at the end. I understand you sometimes external factors, but keep that in mind. So someone says, I am missing the process. I just joined the class. I'm not sure what you mean by you're missing the process. If you can elaborate on that, I can better answer that question. So Uche Chuku says, feeling everyone is ahead of me. I wouldn't think about it that way. This is just Monday, right? It might be that you might be losing a little bit of a context if you don't know what some of the things I'm answering right now. But don't feel like you're behind. Don't feel like everyone's ahead of you. That is not the case. But make sure you look at all the curriculum, all the stuff we've sent you to know what's going on for this course. Okay, what I'll say is AB, I'm not sure what's going on, but maybe this might fix it. If you go to new and terminal, CD into data course, and run into this command, into those two commands I have there. What this is going to do, it's going to create a new directory with the notebooks. So it's going to give you a new set of notebooks, the up-to-date notebooks. For what might have happened is maybe you're pulling some sort of old version of the notebooks. That might happen. So this should potentially fix the problem. How do you get to the terminal? No problem. New terminal. I'll leave that up right there so you can take a look at it. I'm going to look at Moodlelib's question. Which of the folders are we working on right now? Regarding the curriculum, the lectures this week, they're all within the Python directory. So AB, did you get to the terminal? Yeah, let me see. There you go. It's a little hard to see, but run that. And hopefully that fixes a problem. Run that. Let me know that fixes the problem. We're at the end of office hours. We'll pick it up tomorrow, guys. Remember, there's office hours Monday through Thursday. It's a different time each day, so keep that in mind. It's all listed in the schedule. So I know there's some last minute questions here. It says how, I'll try to quickly answer them before I have to go. I have to have another appointment right after this. Hi, how can we import zip file into Jupyter Notebook? You can import zip files. You can import files, no problem, in Jupyter Notebook. Hit the upload button. You should see a little window that pops up. You can upload files from your machine to the pod. And someone's on the Pi program flow. A question says, should I save the file before I attempt the exercise? Because I was told that we have to make a duplicate copy of the original before making modifications. And then regarding that question is, we'll talk more about that. We can, you can make a copy of the notebook. You can go here, duplicate. You can make a duplicate if you want. If you want to keep it the original, how it originally was. And when and where can we find this recording of the office hours? That should be on the, if you go here, control panel, video links, you should be able to see the recording of the office hours. So take care, guys. Have a good rest of the day. We'll pick it up tomorrow.